All you need to know about 21st of November patch, it used to be like this. You hit the trooper, you get the soul instantly. Now the trooper drops this soul. You need to be in 18 meters range to pick it up. Medic troopers don't heal anymore. You need to take down the enemy medic and pick up the heal the same way you do with the new souls. And it heals a lot more. Rejuv got nerfed. It doesn't give extra 10% max HP, 15% fire rate and 15 spirit amp. Instead, it gives 2 permanent buffs, like the ones that you get from boxes or Sinner Sacrifice. All spirit abilities give 10% less damage on upgrades. Base gun damage and gun damage grows increased by 10%. After you spend 4800 souls on items in any category, you will get bonus stats. The first wall jump also spends a little bit of stamina. Stamina regen is slower. Guardians have more HP. Walkers have a lot more HP. Walkers have a smaller range of attack and slams, and you need to be closer to attack the walker. Guardians start with 75% bullet resist. It goes down over time and it hits minus 50% at 10 minutes. The same works for walkers, but their bullet resist hits minus 50% at 20 minutes. Now you start with 9 slots, not 8. One walker unlocks 1 extra slot, so you will get all flex slots when you take down all 3 walkers. Neutrals are stronger but give more souls. Sinner Sacrifice deal more damage. Survival buff gives fixed regen instead of percentage. Gun buff is stronger and it reloads your weapon when you pick it up. Spirit buff is stronger too. Movement buff gives +2 stamina instead of +1. Items. All cooldown reduction items got nerfed and now they give less cooldown reduction. Capacitor doesn't remove buffs anymore. Instead it applies like a slowing hex effect and it prevents stamina usage. Curse. The buff removing effect was moved from Capacitor to Curse and the Curse cooldown got increased by 10%. Weapon damage of Curse reduced from 20% to 15%. Cultist Sacrifice doesn't give extra fire rate anymore. Instead, it gives bullet damage. Split shot is dead. Cooldown reduction increased from 14 seconds to 32. Express shot deals less damage and scales with boons. Shadow weave. You need to be closer to see someone who's using shadow weave. Reactive barrier. Cooldown increased from 26 seconds to 40 seconds. Spirit and weapon shielding. Cooldown increased from 35 seconds to 45 seconds and the spirit shielding threshold increased, duration reduced. Cheat death. Removes all non-stun debuffs. Spirit Sap. Cooldown reduced from 35 seconds to 25 seconds. Silence Wave. Doesn't upgrade from Sap anymore. Doesn't reduce spirit power and doesn't reduce resist. Now, Focus Lens builds from Spirit Sap and reduces spirit power and spirit resist. Echo Shard gives 5 ability range instead of 5 cooldown reduction. Scourge. Max HP damage increased from 3.25 to 3.5. Cooldown reduced by 3 seconds. Spirit Snatch. Instead of increasing cooldown to x2 on light melee hit, effects are reduced to 70%. Yeah, obviously there are a lot more item changes, but most of them are like spiritual overflow, fire rate increased from 30% to 35%. Yeah, I didn't put that type of changes in this video because yeah, plus 5% no one cares. Now let's talk about heroes. Overall, they reduced the base spirit damage and buffed scaling. So now every spirit based hero will deal less damage at the beginning of the game, but will scale a bit better. Abrams, shoulder charge, cooldown reduced. Bebop, uppercut, increased cooldown but more scaling. Tier 3 bomb gives 5 move speed when placed instead of reducing the damage. Hyper beam, less damage if not upgraded. Billy, raising ram tier 2, weapon damage increased from 25% to 35%. Spirit damage increased to Calico. Clip size increased, reload time increased. And the little bombs cooldown increased too. Return to Shadows amp reduced from 24% to 18%. Tier 3 duration increased by 1 second. Doorman, less regen. Bell, has less base damage but better scaling. Dynamo, kinetic pulse range increased from 15 meters to 20 meters. Cooldown reduced by 4 seconds. You know, I recently made a Dynamo guide, you gonna watch it, yeah? Holliday, less gun damage and less jump pad damage. Ivy, again, Kudzu bomb, less damage like at the base but better scaling. Stone form cooldown reduced by 5. Bullet lifesteal increased by 5. Airdrop penalty is now 30 instead of 50%. Airdrop cast range increased by 2 meters. Kelvin, a lot less bullet velocity, less damage on grenades, and ult doesn't have minus 45 seconds cooldown on tier 2. So yeah, Kelvin's ult now have actual long cooldown. Duration of the Kelvin ult is reduced from 5.5 seconds to just 5. Lash, grapple cooldown reduced from 42 to 35. Flog, more heal, more damage, less cooldown. Death slam, less cooldown. Lady Geist, tier 3 soul exchange radius increased from 15 meters to 20 meters. Mina, tier 2 Shanguin retreat doesn't give cooldown anymore, and it doesn't let you air jump in the air after you already dashed. Love bites, longer cooldown. Tier 3 takes away 2 stamina instead of 1. Mirage, more heal from scrubs, he can now TP to objectives, so like a walker or tower. And ult has a lower cooldown, and on tier 2 the cooldown is reduced by 25 seconds, so yeah, he will teleport a lot more. Paige, the shield reduced by 50, 2 seconds shorter. Tier 1 gives fire rate instead of barrier. Tier 2 gives 100 barrier and plus 2 duration instead of fire rate. Paradox, less health and regen. Pulse grenade, less damage, better scaling. Pocket, less regen, a little bit less damage on the cloak. 7. Bigger balls, more crit reduction. Shiv, less alt attack pushback. Alt attack costs 3 ammo instead of 2. Killing blow deals less damage. When you have full rage, alternative attack will knock back a little bit more. Sinclair, you can swap with your assistant twice. Ult copied cooldown from 50% to 40%, less HP and regen. Viscous, splatter cooldown increased. Tier 1 gives damage and range instead of cooldown. Tier 2 gives cooldown. Tier 3 now also increases the scaling by 0.4. Cube duration reduced by 1 second. Cube regen increased by 10. Tier 2 cube plus 1 second. Warden, more gun damage, flask radius reduced. Tier 2 gives plus 1 meter radius, more HP regen. Wraith, card trick damage increased. TP cooldown reduced. Yamato, power slash deals less damage. Crimson slash has longer cooldown, but minus 9 seconds instead of 5.75 on tier 3, and Yamato now got less HP regen. That's it. Now go and watch my Dynamo guide. Please, I'm a small content creator.